right, y'all. You already know Chef Darrell has to be one of my favorite people. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, every time I talk to this brother, I'm going to learn something different. He got 5011 projects out, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. And so this is a brother that when I talk to, it motivates me to be like, hey, what's the next level look like? Because this brother is it. So this is one of the OGs of the All Things Food Trucks Clubhouse moderator. This is one of the OGs of the Food Truck Scholar podcast. And now you've made it to the YouTube channel. So you already know. You already know you part of the family, man. So what's up? How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Always glad to be a part, man. We've been doing this for a minute now. We've been doing this for a while. So I'm excited. It's always love. I appreciate it.
Look, so it's only right that I got to make it down to Shreveport, Atlanta, around the country, because you'd be all over the place. We got to link up in person. We got to do it.
It's time. It's time. You got to come through. You got to come.
It's overdue. In fact, I was last year, I checked on a friend that was in Houston, and if it wasn't too far off, I would have tried to pull up on you. I would have risked it all to pull up on you in Shreveport.
Listen, you could have come and said the word. I would have met you halfway. You could say the word, like, look, meet me in Longview or something. We would have figured it out.
Hey, we still got some time to make that work.
Absolutely, I'm not going anywhere.
Man, so just to run it down for the people, one of the things that you got a long list of things. So Food Network did not make you. I always want to be clear about that. We talk about, you being on Food Network, being season 10 Great Food Truck Race winner, the first all African-American team to win the Great Food Truck Race. But television did not make you. You was already traveling around the world as a chef. You've been in Paris, France. You've been all over the world. That was just one accolade that came from that, that put you on a lot of other people's radar who may not have known about you otherwise. And you didn't slow down from that.
Never, not at all. I mean, Food Network was great. What it does, it gives you validation, right? It gives you that platform where people can kind of know your name and then see where you really are, and they come try you out. But for me, man, cooking is what I do. I was telling somebody earlier, when I cut the stove on, it makes my soul calm. It's one of those things that just relaxes me so much, and I enjoy it. If I had not been a chef, it was my profession, I would still cook every day and twice on Sunday. So that's just kind of my thing. But Food Network has been an amazing platform, so I can do other things. I have a food service company now. I do meal preps and meal plans. I do it so much. And again, being on Food Network 3 times now, it just gives you that validation where people can say, okay, well, we can trust that guy. He's been on there. He must know what he's doing. So it's been a great experience and a great ride that's still going to go on and on and on.
So let's run down the different appearances you've had on Food Network, because you ain't new to this. You true to this. So what was the first one?
So I'm going to give you way back. So in 2008, I was in the final stage of casting for Hell's Kitchen, right? And we know reality show is not as real as it sometimes is. And I just didn't agree with the direction that it was going. But I could have been on the show in 2008, so it took me another 7 years to get back to that same position, So then 2015, I was on Cutthroat Kitchen. Great show. It's season 13, episode 7. It's called Fry Hard. I should have won. I got hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, led astray. I mean, I should have, listen, it was mine. I won. But someone else got the prize, but it is what it is. But it was a great experience. And I really enjoyed it. It was a funny show. It showed my personality, let me come out, and it kind of told the world my name. And then fast forward to 2019, it was a Great Food Truck Race, season 10. I mean, amazing race. First time we've been on a food truck. We went the most trucks ever, the longest race ever, and we took the prize. My lovely wife, my sous chef Darrell, we knocked out the competition, so that was show number 2. And then here recently, we had a Great Food Truck Race, the All-Stars edition. All-Stars. I feel like an all-star, like Mike Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and, I feel like an all-star, so it took out of 14 seasons, it took the best 8 teams. And we went head to head, so we got eliminated second round, which again, this debatable, but in the same sense, it was a great experience, and a lot of great things came from that. And it gave me that platform back to kind of reintroduce myself again to where I was like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still pushing, I'm still going. So that's kind of my Food Network thing. And next year, keep staying, stay tuned. I always give you a little something, but I can't give you what I can give you, but I give you what I give you. But just watch me next year.
Okay. All right now. All right. I will hold you to that. Now,
hold me to that.
I said it last time. I actually said it to your buddy with Rolling Indulgence. The last time I talked to him, I said, listen, if y'all do a reunion or something like that, you got to call me. Mm-hmm. Now, I ain't going to hold it against you that you didn't call me for the All-Stars. But I'm going to let you know right now, you got my cell phone number. And if you don't, I will give it to you. I am ready, willing, and available to eat at all times.
Awesome.
I'm your girl.
I mean, I love Drew for Rolling Indulgence, man. It's funny. We're all still so close from that season. I mean, I've talked to other cast members and other seasons, and I was like the big uncles, everybody, so like the brunch babes and a DMA. We talked to my DMA so frequently. We talked to the brunch babes. Laura texted me 2 days ago. We Frank and Slides talked to me, everybody. We all stayed so close because, again, it was never competition. Doing that race, I will go on people's truck and help them. I would say we have a little power. I say, hey, what are you struggling with? Let me help you. I wasn't afraid of competition. I feel like if you line me up against 9 other people, I'm going to come out on top. But more than coming on top, I want to reciprocate. I want to give back. I want to make sure that everybody can be their best self. So through the competition, man, I was helping everybody out and like giving advice and doing those things. And not saying I'm so far above everybody, but I had more experience in that platform. So for me, it was more or less, let's all have fun. Let's all do our best. Let's all take it and parlay to something greater.
And, that showed in so many different ways because you've created a family. Like that season became a family in so many different ways. And anytime I talk to other folks from that season, they have the same communication that it was just a different vibe of like, there was so much time that you spent together, but there's so much time that we didn't see. And I'm saying we, like the fans, the viewers, of like when you're cleaning out the trucks and you're coming over and you're helping each other clean out the trucks and they coming over to you like, hey, you got some big guys left? Can you whip up some? Absolutely.
I fit everybody, even the All-Star edition. I was so proud. We did an interview with Tyler Florence tonight, and I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but it was really good. I got a little emotional. I teared up. He teared up. And Tyler and I are friends in real life. Like he cares about me and care about him, and we're just kind of chopping it up. And he said, hey, all the chefs on the season All-Stars also do the best chef. And even Aloha Plate, who was my personal favorite. That's when I sort of watched the Great Food Truck with Aloha Plate. They're my favorite. And their head chef said, hey, that gumbo was the best I've ever had. Darrell was the best chef out there. And for those guys who've been doing it for so long and say that, man, it feels good. It feels really, really good to have the respect from your peers.
And so we got to have this conversation about TV because there's so many people that want to be on TV. They want that limelight, but there's work that come with it. And so with you being a veteran of sorts in this space, I don't want to talk about just what does it take to get on TV. That's part of the question. But the other question is, how do you maintain yourself by being on TV? And what I mean by that is you are a married man, you are a family man, you got children, your wife was out with you out on the road, but there was moments where your kids probably said, Daddy, I want you to come home. Or there may have been other situations at home that you had to deal with. So while everybody wants to know, how do I get on TV? How do I want to get on TV? I do want you to talk about that, but I also want you to talk about how do you get on TV and don't let that limelight break you.
Absolutely. One thing about television is perseverance, right? It's the luck of the draw, right? And I mean, you have to really persevere and really fight to get there. You may have an uncle who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. If not, it's going through the process. It's going to open casting calls. It's going to auditions. It's going and put yourself out there. Remember, I said I started this in 2008. So I didn't get back on TV until 2015. So that's 7 years of me just going to open calls and applying and interviewing and calls and phone calls and this network and that network. So you got to persevere. And for me, I've never been afraid to do that. I heard 50 Cent say one time, I've never been afraid of anything because I didn't have anybody to run to, right? There was nobody to go home and get. I can't go home and get me. So when the tough times come, I have to understand that I got to make it through. I got to keep fighting, right? So for me, the perseverance is the first thing to get on television. Sometimes you get lucky, and the first time you apply, you get it, but most times it takes a while. I hear Samuel Jackson was 40 before he got his first role. Denzel says he's a 20-year overnight success. So I mean, it takes a long time to get to that process. And that's the first thing I understand. It's a process, right? The next thing is support system. You can't fight alone. You can't. There's no way we can do it alone. My sister came and watched my kids. My wife's godmother came and watched the kids. We just have family and friends who pitched in and said, we'll be here for y'all, because 2 shows, it was just my wife and I gone. We got a bunch of kids. Like, I really like my wife. I really, really like my wife. We got a whole bunch of kids, So, they got big kids and small kids. And it's one of the things where we have that support system where they came and helped us out. That's the biggest thing. Having somebody or some people in your corner that really understand who you are and really understand where you're trying to get. Because our success is their success, and we're able to help so many people now because we have that platform, and it has catapulted our business, so we can do so much. But the road is tough. I just recently been on the road from May until August 4th,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good bit of 3 months there where my wife wasn't here. It was just me. So again, it's one of those things where it's a lot of sacrifice, but you have to have an overall goal in mind. I tell people all the time, if every decision in life is about you, you're going to run into something bigger than you. It's going to make you quit. So my decision in life are based on my family, based on my circle, and based on being able to reciprocate. So that's kind of how I deal with it. It's bigger than me.
And so how do you make those moments count? Because in many ways I can empathize, because I've been in different cities doing Lord knows what from May 31st, and I just came back from Birmingham yesterday. So how do you make those moments count with family? Because you're always busy, you're always on the move, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. So when you're with family, how do you make sure that you're physically present and that you're not on your phone trying to be like, baby, yeah, that was nice. And then how do you do that?
Well, again, I really enjoy being a family man, so above being a chef, above being a celebrity chef, quote unquote, I love being a family man, so growing up, my family was, what it was, and I always wanted more and wanted different, wanted better. So that's my priority, right? And when I'm present, I'm present. I'm here. I say what's called a principle of the moment, right? Every moment changes. Even this moment we're in right now will change, so I look at it as a vision of yesterday and a remembrance of the future, so understanding that the past is concrete, the future's ever coming, in the moment right now, we got to make it count. So when I'm home, I'm here. I mean, I'm basketball, I'm football. I was at my son's middle school football practice yesterday. We roller skating, we going bowling. I had the grill fired up. I had the grill fired up Sunday, I think it was. I had T-bones and ribeyes and shish kebabs and shrimp and burgers and wings. Have my little girl out there say, "This is how you light up. That's how you light the stove. That's how you do it. That's how you season the meat." Have Moses bars there, put the charcoal in there, and everything I do is an activity. I think the scripture says, "Teach them while you lie down, while you rise up, while you work." So everything I'm doing, come on, let me show you this. And we make it a family thing. We have pizza night, right? My wife hates it. So the kids make their own pizza, and this stuff is flour on the walls, it's sauce, cheese all over here. But it's one of those things that they look forward to. Of course, there's Taco Tuesday. My middle son loves it. He comes home from school, it's Taco Tuesday. And the kids make their own tacos. And so whenever we do it, it's a family thing. It's a fun adventure. And even if we just sitting down playing Monopoly, which I hate to lose. I don't know if you can tell. I hate losing. So if I got to be the bank and slide myself a couple extra $100, I'm not losing, But it's everything. It's every activity that I do it with them. My wife and I were just out and about earlier. We did an interview for my local magazine here and said, "Hey, we got a few minutes. Let's go run to the mall." We're in the mall. Like, we've been married 24 years in December. We're holding hands. We're walking. It's like we're 2 little kids. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoy being a family man, and I make sure every time I have is for them.
I love that. And so do the kids ever come onto the truck? Like, will I ever see some of the kids making some beignets? Have you shared the secret with them?
So my 2 older kids that work with me in my restaurants and in my food truck. My oldest son's going to barber school now, so he wants to do that piece of it. That's going to be him. But my middle son, Darrell, who bears my name, he will be with us this weekend at the Soul Food Festival. First annual Louisiana Soul Food Festival. He'll be on the truck. My little daughter is like the greatest. She is her mother. She is a marketer. She talks to everybody. She goes to a school, says, "Hey, Have you heard of NOLA Creations? My dad's a famous chef. She's at softball camp, right? And she said, hey, my mom and dad are famous. And the people are like, yeah, whatever. You get whatever. Yeah, they're on TV. Yeah, whatever. My wife picks her up. He says, yeah, we're on TV. And she pulls the phone out and shows them like, oh my God, she wasn't lying. So the kids are all in. They are all in. My other son, Michael, he comes in. He's another seller, so he comes in, talks his talk, and it's just amazing. Like I said, I always want them around me. Whatever I'm doing, they can do it too. I don't do anything that's illegal or not really wholesome or not really family friendly. So it doesn't matter where I am, they can be with me.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about some of these activities that they can be a part of. Because, oh my gosh. So the last time we talked, brother, you was talking about the commissary, food truck part, cookware. You had released your second book, which had sold out. So I'm still waiting on my copy.
Yes.
All of that. Your seasonings was out, and then you had your chefware. So talk to us about that, and then tell me whatever else you got up your sleeve.
All right. Well, first we go with the festival. So next weekend is the first annual Louisiana Soul Food Festival. I am the headliner there. I'll be judging the competition. So we've gathered some of the best chefs all Louisiana. And they're going head to head. They're going to put their best dish forward, and I'm going to judge it. I'm going to say yay or nay, who is the winner, and it's going to be a real big thing. I'm going to do it every year. I have my food truck there. We'll be doing some things with different little dishes I got working out. Jambalaya egg rolls, of course. We're going to bring that wonderful dish back out. Beignets, of course, and we got multiple flavors of beignets. I've been working in the lab. We got a coffee and cream flavor. Of course, our white chocolate sauce. We got a key lime flavor. We've been working.
Okay,
we've been in the lab.
Okay.
So that festival is going to be August 27th through 29th. I'm doing a VIP experience where I'm going to cook for all the VIPs. I'm going to taste the real deal New Orleans cuisine. They're going to do it. They're going to enjoy it. I'm going to have some fun with it. I got some props and some games we're going to play. It's going to be a real interactive experience. So that's this weekend. Then we're going to go to Dallas, right? That'll be September 1st and 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be in Dallas, another festival. Again, I'll be the headliner there. Then we'll be in Houston for the Creole Heritage and Mardi Gras Festival. That'll be, again, another great festival. We're going to pull some stuff out of our hats for that. Then we're going on the road. We're going to go to Dayton, Ohio, hook up a roll indulgence. We're going to try to get brunch. We're going to try to get brunch babes come down too.
When is that?
So we're looking at like in the end of October. That's the goal. We won't get it before it gets too cold, So we're probably looking at that. So we're hooking up a rolling door to try to get the brunch babes come on down from Michigan and do it and kind of have a little bit of a reunion,
The food truck scholar will be present.
All right, absolutely.
That's about 5 hours. I got it.
Oh yeah, come on through. We're doing Virginia Beach. We're hooking with Medea Made out there. So we're gonna do Virginia Beach. We're gonna do Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, we're gonna do New Orleans. We were doing the Jazz Fest, but they got canceled. That broke my heart. I'm a native New Orleanian. I wanted the Jazz Fest. I used to sing the gospel tent back in the day when I was still a church-going musician, but that's the last time I really went. So I wanted to come back home and I wanted to do my food, but it's canceled. I cried in the car. I like crying. I cried in the car. And it's funny. We now have a partnership with LA Fish Fry, and I'm official spokesperson. So they were going to rent a house, and I was going to cook all their products and all their stuff, right at the house and just give it away. Like, hey, taste the product. So that's something new for me as well. Having sponsorships, LA Fish Fry, Slap Your Mama, some other local sponsorships. So that's new for me. I called Tyler and say, hey, Tyler, these people say they wanted me to be the spokesperson. What do I do? And he just started laughing like, all right, man, here's go. You got to work this, work that, and do this. But I like, so having a guy like that in my corner is great. So that's our scheduled tour from next weekend all the way to November, right? So also, we have our 3 trucks now. We're only doing one for this tour. I'm still trying to get my staff up with COVID and vaccinations, things like that. So we kind of just going to roll with one. But other 2 trucks are here. They're ready to go. Once I get my staff fully functioning, then we'll roll all 3 on our next tour, right? So we're going to do a tour this to November, shut down to about February, then come back March and do a whole new tour. And this how it's going to be our cycle. We're going to keep touring. So again, I did go to the Pocono Mountains for a little bit, do some stuff out there. Can't really say what I did, but I can say it might have been something that was really fun that you may want to check out.
Okay.
So we got a lot of great stuff working now. The chefware line, you see my chef coat. I don't know if you can see it.
I do. Go on, flex on them.
It's part of the line. You got to watch the big arms too, So it's tailor made for chefs. It fits. It's comfortable. It's not hot. It's vented. So we're still kind of working on that. Just right now, just my size. It's big boy size. So you got to lift the weights and wear this one. So we got our chef line coming out. It's going to be really cool. We're working on a new design for the chef pants. We don't want traditional chef pants. We don't. We want to have some fun with it. So it's something new for me as well. I've never been a clothes designer. I'm not Fendi or Gucci or Kanye, but we're going to try our hand at it. I know what I feel comfortable in. I know what fits me in the kitchen. So we're going to do that, So that's something coming. Hopefully by the beginning of next year, we have it put on our website. You can get it from there, So, and I got more. So I started a food service company. So right now we had clients all during the summer where we fed 500 people 3 meals and snack a day. So the food service business is really taking off. We're picking up a couple of assisted living facilities. We're picking up a couple schools. So we'll probably have about 5 starting out next year. So it's a really good start. It's something new. I'm enjoying it, and I'm giving great quality, nutritious food that tastes good to people who need it. So it's a great thing, and it pays pretty good. I can't front. It pays pretty good. So that's something also we have going on as well. The cookbook, the Cajun Vegan, I want to push it out October 15th, the next edition of it. Edition 2, the second run, the Cajun Vegan, October 15th. That's coming out as well. What else we got going on? I think that's enough for right now. I think that's it.
Yo, there's more. We already know that there's more. So I get this question a lot. People be like, okay, but I ain't been on, Food Network like Chef Darrell. I don't have this notoriety Chef Darrell guy. So I can't start these multiple streams of income that him and his wife and his family have been able to experience because I don't have that notoriety. Mm-hmm. But I know that you've been around people that may or may not have been on TV and probably have had these different forms of streams of income that you may even look towards as mentors probably. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm seeing you nod, so that probably is the case. So what would you say to that person that says, well, I can't because I don't have that notoriety. I'm not a celebrity chef. How do I get my name out there, so that I could start building these multiple streams of income? Like, where do I even start with that?
Right. So if you haven't known, I'm a big fan of 50 Cent. And I was watching an interview one time and he said he gets off a plane. When he goes to a new city, what he has is taxi drivers or Uber drivers, whoever taking him around. When they talk about the best rapper in the city, that's how he knows them. That's how he finds talent. Own your city, own your block, own your state. So if you want to start your business, same philosophy. Do what you do in your area and become your own local celebrity. And then from there, you continue to build outward, right? And make the main thing the main thing. Talk about streams of income, right? So everything I've done is catapulted my food. That's the home base. I know if I pull my food truck out today, I can sell food and make money, right? So that's the main thing. I do that. Now I can branch off into chefware, into seasoning lines, into those other things because I have them first make the main thing. Take that one thing you do very, very well. If you do red beans and rice, okay, well, start some red beans in the right place. When I first started my first restaurant so many years ago, I had $1,500, took a stove out of my house. I just started. That's all I had. So you got to just get started. Don't worry about what you don't have. Do what you have. Do who you are and be you. If you write your name on that box of food, write your name on that plate, whatever you got to do to let people know this is you, and you start from there. Make sure you can be the best you can be. And that way, the rest will come to you.
Mm-hmm. And so when it comes down to scaling, because you said this on Clubhouse, I think it was one of the best conversations we had on Clubhouse. We got to bring you back to that space. Is that you just said it, you pulled the stove out your house. So there was a while that your house didn't have a stove. You literally took the stove that was in your house and you put it in this hole in the wall restaurant that you had at the time. And that's how you got started. It wasn't the fancy, restaurants did. It was literally that. And then when you got to the fancy restaurants, you was a dishwasher back then. So when we're talking about scale, there's been so much that you may not have been taught and you had to learn. So how important has it been for you to have mentors, and how do you seek out, good mentors?
Absolutely. So I always say, find the best chef and go wash his dishes. That's been the key to me. I started at Commander's Palace. I was dishwasher with Emerald Lagasse, and I worked my way up. You see, in the restaurant business, a lot of people want to run fast. You're like, I'm gonna open a restaurant today, be a million tomorrow. Doesn't work that way. There's so many steps in between them. So I build every position before I hire it. So if I want to hire a dishwasher, I become a dishwasher. Build the format, build what they have to do, write the job description. Okay, I got it. Now I can bring somebody and teach them. Now I'm going to go to the next floor, build a pastry chef, then build a pantry person, build a grill cook, build a saute cook, build a service team, build a bartender, build an assistant manager, the manager, general manager. So every level I'm building, I'm in that position, I'm in that function. So I know the ins and outs, I know do's and don'ts. If I build a perfect position and say, okay, well, go ahead and cook these vegetables, it should be done in 8.5 minutes. I know that because I've done it. I know it because I understand it. So knowing your business side now, every aspect of it, then you go to the P&L side of it. So many times we have so many great chefs who can cook, but can't manage the finances. So understanding your profit and loss statement, you can do $1 million on the top line and flow a negative million to the bottom line. So understanding that you have to manage every item on the line, P&L line every day. Understanding how to take your costs and how to equate them over a month. How to make sure you're ordering properly. Understanding food costs. Numbers are so important so many times people just don't get it. I cook food. Okay, great. Well, you're making money off the food you make. How did your cost this played out? Well, I thought it'd be $20. Okay, $20 is good. Your food cost on that is 40%. You got account for the dishwasher, account for the chemicals, account for the plates, account for the light bill, the rent, all those things come into consideration. So for me, I always sought out people who had already done it. So you see a guy like Tyler Florence, a guy like Emerald Lagasse. I had an uncle who owned a grocery store back in the day. He's gone on be the Lord, God rest his soul, but he showed me a lot. He showed me that business can be this high one day and this low next day. So understanding how to balance and make sure you maintain. So again, find those people who are doing it and go seek them out. And most times they'll give you a leg up. They'll help you out. I've never seen you ask somebody in the industry for help and they say just no. Never seen it.
Now that's interesting that you say that, because I was having a conversation not too long ago with a friend and trusted mentor about how in a lot of other spaces, that may not be the case. You may ask somebody something, they're like, oh, well, for $2.99, I'll teach you. And then you get on the webinar, and then halfway through the webinar, you're like, they really ain't said nothing.
Right. Or it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. So how do you stay clear of those? Because they are out there.
Listen, I'm from New Orleans. I'm from the hood. I smell bull coming a mile away. You can't, listen, I came from the block. It's just, my past is what it is, but I understand the people trying to hustle. If they trying to hustle, they're going to tip their hand eventually. If someone wants to truly help you, prime example, a young lady inboxed me, said, hey, I want to cook. I'm a home cook. I want to learn. I want to open a restaurant one day. Can you help me? I said, yes. Meet me at Starbucks. We'll talk about it. She met me at Starbucks. She had a pen in her pad. I had my pen in my pad. I asked her some questions. She asked me questions. I gave her homework. And she said, well, how much is it going to cost? I said, well, I'll tell you what. If you truly want this and you want to learn, come be my intern. When I go travel, when I come places, when I cook somewhere, you come and your payment will be your labor. Your payment will be you putting your hands on some products. And that helps me out because I got extra hands now. But now you have the actual experience. Now you're having hands-on stuff working under me. Versus me saying, oh, well, for $2.99 a week, you're gonna come. No, that's not what we're doing. Because when people start saying, pay me this or now show you this, they don't have your best interest at heart. All they want to do is make $1. Now, granted, if your industry, you're a consultant, right? If you're one person that builds your business that way, that's not who I am. My wife does a consulting business. She does business solutions. She teaches you how to get your LLC, your EIN, go from the LLC to S Corp and write grants. Now that's her business. And even then, she gives out free advice. So again, you have to find people who genuinely want to help you. And when the first conversation is about money, they don't want to genuinely help you. They want to get paid. So normally that first conversation is a conversation. Having a conversation shouldn't cost you a dime. People say, oh, well, it's $25 upfront fee to talk to me, or $300 upfront to talk to me. Nah, the conversation is free, man. Give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes, give me 30 minutes, and that's all I need. So when people say for a 30-minute consultation, you got to pay them, be wary of that, because they're generally not trying to help you. They're generally trying to get $1 from you. And there's different kind of response that they'll get from you. They're not going to be there when you need some help. Well, if you're not paying them, guess what? They're not there. So find people who truly want to help you.
Yeah, that's a true word. And the reason why I say this is because the food truck industry is, and you know this better than anybody, it's crazy out here. You know, the minute the federal government decided that they was going to do a report and said, oh, well, it's estimated to be a $2.7 billion industry at the close of 2018, people who ain't never thought about food trucks before were like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of these different companies, all of these different, you know, experts or however you want to identify, they're out here saying, well, pay for this, pay for this, pay for this, pay for that. And yeah, and they're like, well, Aaron, you haven't created anything like that. And I do have some things that are coming out. But for me, what's been important is I wanted to soak myself into this industry. I wanted to build relationships with people. I wanted to learn what were the actual problems instead of just assuming that I knew what they were. And now that I've spent time creating content and creating information, and you see what I've done for free, if I charge them, that's different. But there's a lot of people out here that you can't even say hi to them. That's 25 cents.
Yep, you're right about that.
And I'm worried about people who, you know, they're so eager to learn this industry. And it's because you said they have a passion to cook, but they don't always necessarily have the business acumen just yet. And they come to so many different people who are making different posts. And it is important to really test everybody. And that's not just other people. I want you to test me. Like everybody that you go to, evaluate them. So that's why with someone being in the game, as long as you have, I definitely wanted your insight on how they can avoid being bamboozled or hoodwinked.
Absolutely.
All right. So, you know, we've talked all about, you know, navigating this space, both for those who are looking to just get in the food truck industry and what to be careful of, but also those who say, hey, I'm ready for my talent to be seen in the limelight. And I appreciate you for taking the time to do that, because so many people, they want things, but they don't know how to go about doing it or what price they might have to pay. And the thing that you said that really stood out to me is, hey, come work with me, because working with me is how you're really going to see it. Like, you can hear about it all day, you can read about it, but until you've gotten into this space, gotten your hands dirty, potentially cussed out by a customer, that's when that's when you really get it. So you've been mentored, but you've also been a mentor. So when you think about like your legacy, who have been like some really great up and coming chefs, or even chefs that built a name for themselves that you've had the opportunity to, you know, support along the way?
One of my favorites is a 14-year-old kid named Owen Osborne. And Owen's, he's been with me for a while, man. It's probably about 5 years now. He's been on Chop Jr. He won the Uncle Ben's Cooking Challenge in Louisiana. He cooked for Michelle Obama. He's been on Master Chef Junior also. He's been on Nickelodeon. So it's one of my favorite kids to mentor. He is so talented. He loves it. And it's me and one other chef in the city that mentor him. And his mom is so funny. He says, hey, when I get back, I want to go see Chef. She's like, which one? You know, Chef. You know, he calls us both Chef. You know, so we should get Chef and Chef together and do an event. She's like, what Chef? You know, Chef. So he's a really good kid. He's amazing. And he's one of my favorites. I got opportunities to work with international kids this year too. So I was in, where was I? I was in Dingman's Ferry, Pennsylvania. And I got a chance to work with some kids from Mexico in the culinary program. They came from Mexico. They were culinary students, part of the YMCA program. And I was able to work with them in the kitchen, teach them skills and step-by-step how to chop, how to hold a knife. One kid cut his finger the first day. I'm like, we're going to make you a dishwasher. Go ahead. We're going to put you over here. You know, so, but it was amazing. I love those kids, man. I miss them so much. And they just came with such passion. You know, we look at a lot of times where, you know, we have so many advantages in our country. America has a long way to go to be a better country, but there are a lot of countries that are a whole lot worse. You know, so they came in just eager, man, and worked hard. You know, never complained, always had a smile, and I appreciate that. So that's some kids that I enjoy working with well. Of course, my buddy Tyler Florence. I love Tyler. Like I said, it's one guy who's been doing it for 25 plus years on television. And I can literally call him right now to pick up. Never been an issue. Never been, I'm this guy, you're down here. Going back to my days in New Orleans with Emeril Lagasse. Emeril was an intense man. Very intense. We learned so much with it. Learned so much. Like I shout out my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother's been my inspiration this whole time. She was my first chef, my first teacher. She was the one that mattered most to me. She was the one that got me in the industry. She's the one that really kind of got me where I am today. That's my foundation. So a couple local chefs, Chef Hardette Harris. I love Hardette. She has the official NOLA Louisiana meal. It's been arrested by Congress. She got a whole plaque. She is a big time thing. Yeah, she went to Congress and said, hey, there's no Louisiana and South Louisiana. And we're not Louisiana. And she wanted to make a meal that said no Louisiana versus everything about Louisiana, think about New Orleans. What is more Louisiana than just New Orleans? I'm a New Orleans kid. I love it. But no Louisiana has some great foods, some great chefs too. So that's a few, just to name a few.
Wow, man. And you said something that I want to dig into. So you've been on my show, you've listened to other guests, and what comes out a lot of times is passion. And I want to debunk the myth that it's not necessarily that passion always have to come from somebody that had a difficult life. There can be people that, probably came up affluent, didn't really have much problems, and yet they can cook with passion. You can taste it in their food. So the question becomes, where does passion come from?
Got you. Passion comes from within. So when we talk about passion, that's that love. Like I am passionate about my wife, right? So I show her that in everything that I do. So when you say you're passionate about something, you believe it, you hold it close to you, and you give it your all. So when I said I do, I said I'm gonna give you my all. So same as my passion in food. I'm gonna give you my all. So when you want to give your all to something, come hell or high water, that's what you're gonna do. That's where passion comes from. It doesn't mean you have to come from a poor neighborhood or you can come from a rich neighborhood. You come from anywhere. Passion says, I love it. And I'm going to do it until they throw dirt on me. That's what I feel about cooking. I'm going to cook until they throw dirt on me. That's what I'm going to do.
Man, that's because that's the thing is that it's always, and when you're passionate about something like that, you're going to be dedicated to making it the very best. You're going to be, you're going to be less likely to cut corners, be like, oh, well, this could be cheaper. They ain't gonna notice, or we'll do this. They ain't gonna notice. It'll be all right. When it's your baby, when it is like your thing, it don't matter if nobody see it. You saw it, and you want to make sure that it's the best, and that's where it comes from. It's not looking to see how much money could you make off it. It's not trying to figure all of that because, like you said, like if you wasn't making money off of this, you would still be cooking every single day and 2 times on Sunday.
Twice on Sunday, absolutely. One of my favorite movies is Chef, right? And it's so amazing because it parallels my career. I went from a restaurant chef to a food trucker. And there's a scene in the beginning when he has his son in the truck and his son burned a sandwich, and he said it's burnt. He said, "So they're not paying for it." And it's just the pause and like line full of people. They're ready, like what? Come here, son. Let me talk to you real quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's that part of that passion. These guys were eating for free. He could have very well gave him a sandwich and been like, okay, let it ride. But when you believe in what you do, when it's not just what you do, but it's who you are, and when it's a part of your being, you can't do that. You can't put that out there. My line in the kitchen, throw it away. If you got to question it, throw it away. Doesn't look right, throw it away. Start it over. Let's do it over. I don't care if you do it 100 times. I have gone to the table and say, hey, listen, we messed your food up. I apologize for it. If you want to stay and wait, it's on me, but I could not sit down here looking that way. I want to redo it for you. Give me a few minutes. I'll bring it right to you myself. And people appreciate that. And people are loyal to that. When they see you care about what you do, it means something more. And if it tastes good too, oh, you in there. You in there. So, but yeah, never, ever, ever will I cut a corner or second guess, the product. Or it's just not who I am. I can't. Food is an art. We should treat it as such.
See, we have to have this conversation because, I've been all over the country. I've tried a lot of different food trucks. And I'm all for being creative, but I've also seen food trucks that have cut corners. Like if I asked for cheese fries, I did not ask for you to take a slice of cheese and melt it on my fries. And bro, you would be surprised how many times I have experienced it. And that lets me know this may not be for you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or the reciprocal, and I say this a lot on my show, I will get so many DMs or emails that say, hey, is the food truck profitable? I'm just trying to find a new side hustle. I say, okay, but who's going to cook? Well,
Right.
I'll just figure out somebody that can cook. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, we got some people that are passionate about cooking but don't have the P&L right. But then we also got people that they're just looking at the bottom line and whatever. And this is a space, food, like you said, is an art. It is a science and an art. And you have to appreciate both, because if not, I'm going to taste it.
Right. Absolutely. I just think that there are people who understand the lucrativeness of the food business, right? And the difference between being an investor and being an operator, right? Between being an operator and being a chef. You know, and I think that everybody has to learn their lane. You know, I was able to learn all aspects. I started from the bottom. You know, I started from the bottom. I became a restaurant manager at these big chains. I went through the whole process to where I could understand every aspect of the business. There's so many people who run good numbers, but have the worst palate ever. There are people who are good in operations who can say, okay, well, we need to do 2.5 ounces of this, we portion this correctly, and this is the time on this, but they can't lead people. You know, so I think that you have to have a holistic aspect. Listen, being a food person, a chef, a restaurant manager, you're a leader, you're a psychiatrist, you know, you're the best friend, you're the grandmother, you're the mama, you're the daddy. It's the nature of our business. If you don't have a passion for that, if you don't love people, you're not going to make it. That's the bottom line. We're in the people business. You know, food is a big part of it, but it's the people, you know, because I can't serve without people myself. Well, I might be able to. I might, but, you know, we get to those numbers, 5,000, 10,000, I need some help. And if I don't take care of the people around me, then I won't be able to do it. If I don't take care of the people that I'm close to or connected to, I won't have the help. And eventually I'm going to falter. Anybody can make one sale. Anybody. I'll try anything once, you know. You can go up to one time, but money's made by repeat business, right? And then we sell the live, we got to pay our bills to get our families. But, you know, you look at it, if you do it right the first time, they'll come back. Second time, third time, fourth time. First is saying, okay, well, we did $1 million in sales this year. The next year you did $500,000. The year after that you did $250,000. Now you're on $100,000. Well, what happened? We did $1 million here. Well, because you did it the wrong way. You know, you did it the wrong way. If you do it the right way, you can grow it organically, it'll always work out.
You said something that I want to go into, because I feel like it's very timely where we are right now, where so many places, not just the food and service, but especially the food and service, are struggling with getting and retaining employees. And the food truck industry is not, you know, immune to that. I'm seeing so many food truck owners that can't even run, can't even open because they don't have the staff, or they hired staff and ended up getting a whole new staff 3 times in a month. And you said that it was a people business, and we're seeing a lot of food trucks that got great food, got great missions, but they're having difficulty getting staff, keeping staff. Over the years for you, what has been really vital in doing that? I know you talked about that you build out the roles. So walk me through each piece of that. Is it that you're giving them a handbook and you're sitting down with them and you're doing an orientation and that you're training them along the way? Is there any type of disciplinary repercussions if they fail to show up or go missing? Like, just walk us through, what does that look like for you?
The first thing I do is I find great people, right? And you got to go through the process. When I first started in the business, and everybody wanted to be a chef or a cook, so the pool was big. Now folks just want a job, you know? So the hiring process is so important. And sitting down face to face from day one and saying, hey, how you doing? This is who I am. Who are you? And you want to be able to understand people and understand their motivations. They have external and internal motivations. Why do you want to work? Now, why do you want to work here? Now, why do you want to work for me? You know, understand those reasons why, you know, and really having a conversation. Don't just get some handout you got from some website and say, can you be at work on time? Do you have transportation? Are you above 18? And the basic question, you have to get to their soul, understand who that person is. I've had people work with me since 2013, you know, so I mean, I have 5 people who've been with me since 2013. And they can come hell or high water, they with me. They run through a big wall for me. You know, so I selected them a long time ago. and they're still here. So that's the first part, selection process. The next thing is structure, because no matter what people say, everybody wants structure. Everybody needs it. So having a structure in place that here is your role, here is your job description. It's included but not limited to these things. And I want to walk you through the process. And again, I built a position so I know how to do it. So now, as I'm training this person, I'm not just thinking about this person. I'm thinking about this person who train the next person. Someone training them right with the standards, right? That way they have the standards, so when someone else come along, they hold the line. Because when you have a culture, right, and that's one of the biggest things, have a culture that's diverse, that breeds consistency, and that's all about inclusion. And that culture sets a standard. I've hired people, and everybody I've hired didn't work out, of course, but I've hired folks who came in with the wrong mindset. And the first thing my staff said, hold on, we don't do that here. Like in Wakanda, we don't do that here. So we have a culture that's built. So selection, training, structure, and then build that culture. The next thing is you bring them to your family. Like I've had cookouts, I've taken them bowling, I've taken my staff, so we can close early day, let's go get a movie, showing you care about them outside of them just working at a paycheck, so doing activities, that's all part of retention as well, building that camaraderie and knowing them now. I have a walk at the house, hey, bring your kids over, let them come swim in the pool, let's hang out, let's talk about stuff, so again, give them that environment to where, what, chef cool, chef all right, and then caring about them, what's going on in your life. What is going on in your life? Because so many times, we always say people don't quit jobs, they quit bosses, Mm-hmm. So I want to be that boss that people want to work for. I want to be that boss that people want to say, you know what, I'm going to show up for chef no matter what. I don't care if I'm sick. I don't care if I got one leg cut off. I'm going to show up for chef. The chef will show up for me. And people talk about the separation of the workforce and the leadership. That's bullcrap. You got to be right there with them. I'm in the trenches. I'm side by side. I'm right here with you. We're going to do this together. Some guys go in the office. Some people own a food truck and they have a staff and they come in, hey, you guys good? Okay. Or they stay and just count the money. It gets hot in the food truck. People get irate sometimes. You lose orders. Someone's got to be there with that crew to say, look, I got y'all. I'm putting it on my back. Let's go do it. So being there right there side by side. So for me, that's what always worked for me.
So how? So my question is coming from you all over the world, you be mm-hmm. on the move. So how are you fitting in the time to be the husband, be the daddy, be the TV personality, be the business, man behind all these different things, mm-hmm. and then sitting down with your staff to do that? Like, how are you fitting all of that together?
So I always have a notebook on me, right? And it normally goes right in my top pocket. So what I do is each day, I get about 3:30, 4 o'clock or so, and I plan on my day, right? Everything I want to accomplish, I write it down, and I start my day. As my day goes on, I scratch off my list. I may even add to my list, right? And this keeps me organized and focused, right? Because I maximize each time to spend, right? So every time that something's done, I scratch it off. At the end of my day, I look at the list and what I accomplished, right? And things I didn't accomplish go on the next list. Now, on the list could be something as, okay, pick up Michael football practice at 4:30. Okay, take the aunt outside so we can make some mud pies. Go ahead and make brownies for the kids. All of my day is organized every step. That's the only way I can do it. I know what I'm going to do every minute, every hour, every day. And I even incorporate some downtime. Okay, turn your Xbox on. So for me, it's one of those things where I'm systematic about it. And I look at my employees. Okay, well, today is Dominique's birthday. Go ahead and make her a cake. Hey, next week is Andrew's wedding anniversary. Give him off. And I have my planner. And people say I'm old school, but I got an old school planner. And I look at every calendar day and I plan ahead. Remember, we don't work in the moment. It's a reflection of yesterday and the vision of tomorrow. I'm already on next month. I'm already on in the next 6 months. I'm already in the next 6 years. I'm already there. So that's what makes me so unbound with my wife. My wife is right now. I'm the future, she's now. And we bring it to other balance. Sometimes I get too far ahead. I'm too far ahead. I'm a space cadet. I'm way 20 years from now. Like, hold on, wait. The festival's tomorrow. So come back to the day. I get it. You want to do all this, have all this stuff. So again, having a great team, because she runs the business with me. So having a great family understands. So putting together a team because you can't fight alone. That's what it boils down to. I don't fight alone. I have people behind me, people on the side of me, people next to me that fight with me.
This is my next to the last question.
All right.
If you could give an aspiring chef or food truck owner one piece of advice, what would it be?
If you don't love it, don't do it. Because it's work. It's work. Commitment is staying true to what you said you're going to do, even when that feeling that you said it in has already passed. So I mean, you got to stay true. And the only way you stay true is if you love it. Again, I use marriage as a caveat to a lot. I love my wife, right? And I'm gonna stay true. Even though this girl got a big old BBL, they got the and she working it and she twerking and all that, or this woman says she gonna buy me a brand new Bugatti. I gotta stay true because I love it. When a food truck breaks down, when a fryer doesn't work, when no employees show up, when it's raining, you need that money to pay the lease on your truck. There's no gas. When those things happen, if you don't love it, you're gonna quit. You gotta love it. You gotta really love it. Like when I'm on my truck, man, and I'm making something, and I look back and say, that looks good there. That's that passion we talked about earlier. You gotta love it. If you don't love it, don't do it because it will eat you up. A lot of people started it. A lot of people quit. Like we talked about, it's gotta be bigger than them. You gotta love it and do it for a purpose and a reason. So that's the advice I give them.
That's a word. That's a word that everybody needs, no matter if they in the food service industry or not. But since we talking about food, and brother, you have had your hand in all things food, and it's just always a pleasure to sit down, to listen to you, to talk to you. But I want you to plug your stuff. So
absolutely,
go ahead. Let's close on out with you dropping the links or plugging them, telling them where they can go.
So Instagram, NOLA Creations 504. Check it out. Chef Darrell Johnson has Instagram as well. Facebook, NOLA Creations 504. And also Chef Darrell Johnson. The website, www.nola-creations.com. That's www.nola-creations.com. Food service contracts coming up. If you got a school or assisted living facility or some kind of need some work, we here. I do meal plans and meal prep also. You want to lose some weight, bam. We do diet plans, we do lifestyle changes, all that as well. We're traveling all over the country this year. You will see us in a city near you. Go to our website, go to our Instagram, go to our Facebook, keep up with us.
Hey, what can I say? You got to be on his Instagram. You got to be on his website. Because if you don't, I promise you're gonna miss something. Because every time I follow, and every time he comes me like, well, I started so I did. I'm like, I missed it. How? And I follow. So definitely make sure you stay plugged in to everything that NOLA Creations is doing. Chef Darrell, it is always an absolute pleasure, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for rocking with me, being in my corner, being one of the people I can always inbox, ask questions, be like, hey, does this make sense?
Right.
I don't want to put this out here and then, people like, that was spam. So thank you for all Listen, I love my people that keep me accountable. And, you're one of those folks. So I always appreciate that.
I appreciate you and your platform. Give me opportunities to, talk my talk. I really enjoy it. It's a fun time. You're one of the favorite interviews. Like I've done a lot of interviews, from 2015 up until this morning. I've done a lot of interviews, a lot of people. And I can always say I have a great time with you. Have a great time. Nothing feels forced. It's not robotic. They have some interviews where like they have their question like, okay, in 1952 we don't have, we can just talk. And I really appreciate that. It's not, like I said, not robotic and not the status quo. We can be real, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, like I said, y'all need a judge. Y'all need a host. Food Network needs a new host for food trucks. Own, aspire. We're not limiting it.
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Chef Darrell. I want you to take care. Say hello to Otto for me.